So in a healthy person, which of the following will have the greatest influence on resistance to pulmonary airflow?
Great.
Okay, so resistance to pulmonary airflow, atmospheric pressure, respiratory rate, bronchial diameter, quantity of surfactant, the diaphragm. Is it bronchial diameter?
Yeah, how did you know that?
So, sorry. What do you guys think it was?
Is that what I guessed?
No,
What'd
you
you
said respiratory rate,
What do you guys think it was?
but it was really convincing, Greg. We thought you were right.
Yeah.
I should be a lawyer.
You what?
I should be a lawyer.
You should.
So what you guys thought, what was your analysis?
What was the
Respiratory rate.
So what is the question asking? The question is saying,
person.
okay, so you got a healthy person.
Which of the following will have the greatest influence on resistance to pulmonary airflow?
So what
Oh, that makes sense now.
will, I can't spell will, increase pulmonary resistance, okay? So the question is asking about pulmonary resistance. So you have to think, what is resistance?
Resistance to flow.
Resistance to flow, right? And so do you remember like when we talked about the cardiac system and we said like one of the things that has to, well, the two biggest things that have to do with blood pressure were what? The diameter of the vessel, which was the what? Basically came down to resistance. If you decrease the diameter, it caused more resistance. That increased your blood pressure, right? And then the cardiac and the heart rate, right? And or your cardiac output, which comes from your heart rate and your stroke volume, right? So cardiac output and diameter, or the resistance it faced, caused your that. And so it's the same exact thing. So asthma does what?
Restricts airways.
It constricts your airways, it causes inflammation in the airway, the bronchioles, right? The bronchial constriction, right? And so bronchial constriction causes an increased resistance to the airflow, and air. It's actually a problem with air trapping rather than air getting in, because resistance to the airflow means in and out, right? And if you can't get CO2 out, CO2 builds up in the lungs, okay? That's a good question. So CO2 with asthma, those are your normal bronchioles. Okay? And so with asthma, someone's things get inflamed due to some hyperreactive reaction, okay? And so that makes it hard when you make this positive pressure in the alveoli compared to this, air wants to go high to low on the pressures, right? And it wants to go and flow out. And you go, normal, right? But if this is restricting it and air isn't able to come out, that means CO2 is doing what? Building up, right? And so the biggest problem is the CO2. It's not so much the air getting in, it's the CO2. Because do you remember when we said the partial pressure was 760 out here? Right? And then we said that was 160, one of it was like O2, the partial pressure. But by the time it got into here, it was only 104. And why was that?
The moisture there.
The moisture in there, and it's mixing with CO2, and it kind of dilutes it. Well, if I increase my CO2, will it dilute that even more? So it's the CO2 that's making a problem here. And on top of that, what's going to happen in this part with the gas exchange? As I have bicarbonate come up, right? Let's review this real quick. Bicarbonate comes up, and then in here on my hemoglobin, I have attached what? A hydrogen, right? And then how do I convert that back into CO2 to breathe it out?
Comes in.
This guy comes in. Since he's a negative, what has to come out? Another negative. Chloride shift, right?
And so then the hydrogen's going to come off.
And then, yeah, so then the hydrogen comes off,
Combines with
right?
bicarbonate.
Combines with that, so we got HCO3 plus hydrogen is going to equal H2CO3.
So your carbonic acid.
And then it comes into CO2 plus H2O. H2O stays in the red blood cell. So now we got CO2, and we breathe it out, but the PCO2 right here is what? 45, right? And this is what?
40.
So then it wants to go that way. But if CO2 builds up in there, what happens?
It's going to get higher, so it's
It
not.
gets higher and higher, and so can I push CO2 out of my blood anymore?
No.
And so my CO2 levels will start to do what?
Increase.
They'll increase, right? Does that make sense? So someone having an asthma attack is known to have what kind of CO2 levels? High CO2 levels. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so that's the problem with that. It's restricting the airflow. It's meeting resistance, right? And so they feel like they can't get a breath, right? They want to breathe, But what you guys learned today? What's your first drive to breathe?
CO2.
CO2, right? And so when you're holding your breath, what makes you want to go? What makes you want to do that? It's because what's building up? High CO2 levels, and so they feel like they can't breathe, right? Like, I can't get air, I can't get air. It's not really like I'm not getting oxygen, it's I'm not getting CO2 out, right? Does that make sense? Okay, good.